Hi, this is Jeff Zeig, and here I am at the offices of the Milton Erickson Foundation recounting stories about Milton Erickson. In this particular episode, I want to talk about Dr. Erickson's death. On March 23 of 1980, it was a Sunday, Dr. Erickson fell ill and was hospitalized, and likely there was a ruptured diverticuli and a septic reaction in his gut that he just wasn't able to recover from. At the time, I was putting finishing touches on the first book that I edited, a teaching seminar with Milton Erickson, which recounts what it would be like for a student to spend 1 week with Milton Erickson in a heterogeneous group where he would talk about various aspects of psychotherapy and offer demonstrations. That book is available through Taylor and Francis, a teaching seminar with Milton Erickson, also available on Amazon. But Dr. Erickson fell ill and he was hospitalized, and I visited him in the hospital. Dr. Erickson was a communicator, and when I went into his hospital room with one of his family members, he tried to communicate. He would flutter his eyes and work seemingly, to my knowledge, to try to communicate something, even though he was comatose and very close to death. He managed to hang on for a few days, and then on Tuesday, I want to be sure, Tuesday night at 11 at night, with Mrs. Erickson and his daughter Roxana present, he passed away. But he gave some time for his family to come from the various places in the United States where they lived and gather. Now, Dr. Erickson's attitude about death was really inspiring, and it was not something that frightened him because he had been close to death many times. And he would have some quips that he would use and some funny quotes. He bastardized a line from the poet Tennyson, "Let there be no moaning at the bar when my ship sets out to sea." And he would tell jokes about his death, and students would seem concerned, and he would say to them, "Want a recipe for longevity?" and wake up every morning, and want to know how to wake up every morning, drink a big glass of water before you go to sleep at night. So he would he wouldn't be afraid of death. He would say that we start dying the moment that we're born, and so the most important thing is to be meaningful, enjoy the process of living, make the world a little bit better place by virtue of your presence on the planet, and have a good time in the process. And so there was a group of students that he just finished teaching. He was teaching at that time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that group departed. The other group had already assembled. He was active until the very end of his life, wanting to do what was most meaningful to him, which was enjoy the process of teaching and learning as much as he could about human behavior. And when Dr. Erickson passed away, he had never climbed Piastoa Peak. At the time it was named Squaw Peak, and we had a memorial, a tribute, where myself and my then wife Sharon and Erickson children took the urn of Dr. Erickson's ashes, and we took them up to the top of Squaw Peak. Mrs. Erickson couldn't climb to the top of the mountain, and so she climbed halfway up with her daughter Roxana, and myself and Robert, I believe Kathy, Robert's wife, and Roxana went to the top of Squaw Peak, and at the very top there is an extra peak when you get to the top of Piastoa Peak, what was then called Squaw Peak. And I remember Robert on this moonlit night took the urn of ashes and brought it to the very top, and then we brought the ashes back down and met Mrs. Erickson and Christy about halfway up. And it's at that point that we dedicated a bench to Dr. Erickson. And when we had an Erickson Congress in 1989, we had petitioned the city, and it was the last bench that was put on Piestewa Peak. And so should you be in Phoenix, you can enjoy seeing that tribute to Dr. Erickson. On the plaque on the bench, which has a relief picture of Dr. Erickson, we said Milton Erickson, 1901 to 1980, for bringing a vaster perspective and a higher point of view to psychotherapy. So this is Jeff Zeig, here in Phoenix, Arizona, the offices of the Milton Erickson Foundation, creating even more of a resonant tribute to the legacy of Milton Erickson. Thank you.